the salutatorian of the class of 2018, Corinne Coulineau.
Salutatorian speeches can be really boring, and I definitely don't want to waste your time. But I figure it may be a little less painful if I deliver mine in rhyme. My fellow graduates, we did it. We are finally done. Forget your password to Parent Portal and homework. You have none. Graduating high school is actually a really big deal. You have all worked hard, and immensely proud is how you should feel. Society tells us to be humble, and while that's partly true, you should celebrate this accomplishment loudly. This day is about you. Whether high school was your favorite or you hated every minute, be proud and be present because you did it. I'm not here to talk about the future, and that is actually Mona's task. My job is to help revisit and reflect upon the past. Let's go back to the elementary school days, a much simpler time. We worried about, I don't know, like what crayon to use. Many of us didn't have big worries. We were 9. I would also like to take this opportunity to settle an ancient fight. Woodland is the superior school and New City is the worst. You can't argue this. I'm 100% right. After elementary school, the dark days of Felix Festa arrived. We were all so awkward and insecure then. I don't know how we survived. However, it served a purpose, the misery that was middle school. It prepared us to work and taught us that despite what we thought, we really were not that cool. We began our high school journey together in September 2015, but it didn't get real until sophomore year. Who remembers Halloween? To balance out our homework, SATs, and tests, we found many fun ways to help relieve our stress. From football games to the homecoming boat, or simply hanging with friends, we shared our time together, not realizing how quickly it ends. Before we knew it, we were seniors, expecting school to be less intense. But the opposite happened. As classes got harder and the pressure of college became immense. This past year, I have experienced lots of disappointment and rejection. I'm standing here today to tell you that from failure, no one has protection. But we learn from these experiences about who we really are. The inner strength discovered then can only carry us far. But remember to be kind to yourself when things aren't going exactly your way. New doors will open and better opportunities will arise with each new day. Do not let others determine your definition of success. You do you, be kind to others, and honestly, screw the rest. I promise I'm nearly done dishing out advice. After all, I'm just some nerd. Who am I to tell you how to live your life? But here is a lesson I learned the hard way. It's something you're not taught in school, and something teachers never say. If you don't learn to chill out, you will burn out, and that's a 100% guarantee. It took me a long time to understand this, but it's something my cool parents helped me see. Yes, always work hard and strive to be your best, but don't take yourself too seriously. It's not worth it to be too stressed. Back to parents, thank yours tonight. They have been with you through every obstacle, every fight. quickly thank my awesome grandparents and sister and brother too. You guys rock, and I wouldn't be here without you. Shout out to the great teachers for all your knowledge and review. Mrs. Mari, Miss Chukowski, and Nappy, just to name a few. Oh, and how could I forget the Mr. Turner, too. I wish you all lives of love and an abundance of laughter. And I hope you have nothing but success from here on after. Do something revolutionary and do something great so you can brag about it at our reunion in 2028. Now enough of me talking, let's go and graduate. Thank you.
Thank you, Corinne, for your words to the class of 2018. Best of luck to you next year. Vanderbilt will be lucky to have you as a member of the student body. Now, please welcome the chamber choir, who will be performing tonight's graduation song, Time to Say Goodbye. Chamber choir, come forward. Please join me once again in acknowledging the chamber choir. At this point, I would like to introduce you to our valedictorian. Mona's interests are many and diverse. She excels in a multitude of areas. Please welcome the valedictorian of the class of 2018, Mona Tom.
Yeah, Mona!
Hello, everyone. I am immensely honored to speak tonight as the valedictorian of the class of 2018. We're here. We finally made it. It seems like just yesterday we walked into North's daunting halls with our heads down to avoid the scary seniors. But now, just like that, our class is about to embark on hundreds of different directions. From college to the military to the workforce, from Ithaca to Nashville, from Montreal to Durham, from studying history to business to nursing. Together, we have survived it all. The stereotypical high school drama, the personal hurdles in our lives, the heartbreaking losses in gym volleyball, the academic setbacks, and the feeling of dread when we find out that the Rams cave has run out of buffalo chicken wraps. And we took every failure, every obstacle, and turned them into our success stories, our mark on North. Being on the yearbook has taught me, more than anything else, the value of stories and legacies. On every spread, there are photos, quotes, and captions that all culminate into one story. The story of the bonfire, Java Jive, Spirit Week. Everything is carefully curated to convey a snapshot of a moment from that story. A good spread tells a good story if it captures the spirit, spontaneity, and passion of the people around us. It may seem like the moment we walk up and receive our empty diploma covers, our story has come to an end, and everything changes from there. And in a way, it does. High school graduation is the end of our era of childhood. But in another way, a new door has opened for our individual perspectives to take on narratives of their own. As we leave North, we gain the power to decide the accomplishments, the failures, the people that define the story we leave behind. As of today, our stories have become entirely ours to tell, even if it doesn't feel that way. And even if we are nearly paralyzed with fear at the thought of starting anew, we now have the power to make our stories meaningful. Our generation tends to equate leaving behind a meaningful story or legacy with changing the world. But we don't have to irreversibly change the world to be remembered. As author Shannon L. Alder once said, "Carve your name on hearts, not tombstones. Legacy is etched into the minds of others and the stories they share about you." As I said before, a good story, both in yearbook and in real life, is made up of two things: people and passion. I believe that to control our own lives and leave behind a meaningful story, it's not about changing the world. It's about making a positive impact, no matter how small, on all the individuals that walk into our lives. It's about finding our passions and voices and sharing them with the people around us. Chronicle and cherish every person in your life and put a positive spin on every relationship. Your interactions are your story. Find the issue or idea that keeps you up in the middle of the night, the hobby that holds your heart and never lets go, the work that makes you excited to wake up the next morning, and use them to grow and impact those around us. Like Eilish, whose interest in archaeology led her to create a dig site here at North, or like Joe, whose love for theater gave him the confidence to entertain North's community, or like Eve, whose devotion to music inspires her to share it with the next generation. Your passions are your story. Now, before we go, I'd like to thank all the teachers at North who have shaped our 4 years here for the better. Thank you to Mr. Turner for advising Mock Trial and National History Day, as well as the whole Social Studies Department for inspiring my love for the subject. Thank you to the Art Department for providing me with constant encouragement and a daily creative outlet. Thank you to Mr. Maloney for being there when I needed advice on course selection, scheduling, and of course, the gruesome college process. And to our friends, we simply cannot picture our North experience without our best friends by our sides, providing constant love, support, and motivation through it all. And of course, thank you to our families for making constant sacrifices for us to be where we are today, especially my own family for teaching me everything I know about what resilience and hard work truly means. And finally, thank you to the graduating class of 2018. I'll never forget the stress and work, but also the laughs, smiles, and memories we shared these past 4 years. From just saying hi in the hallways, to working on group projects, to being on the same volleyball teams, I'll cherish every interaction that made our times here at North special. I cannot wait to hear about all of our future stories. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2018.
Thank you, Mona, for representing your class so well, and best of luck at Duke next year. At this point, I'd like to invite forward to the podium Mr. Aguilaro, the President of the Board of Education. Mr. Aguilaro, I certify that the graduating members have met all the requirements of the Clarkstown Board of Education and of New York State, and ask that you confer on them their respective diplomas.
Dr. Lino Dantas, based on your certification and with knowledge that the graduating members of the class of 2018 have met the requirements of the Clarkstown Central School District, it is my pleasure and honor to award them their respective diplomas.
Members of the Clarkstown High School North class of 2018. Audience, please hold your applause until the entire list of names of the graduating class of 2018 has been read. The class gift.
To serve as your class president. On behalf of the senior class, we would like to thank the teachers and administration for their unwavering guidance and support over the last 4 years. We come together tonight as a community to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2018. Throughout our years in Clarkstown, we have learned many lessons in subjects such as math, history, English, and science. However, along the way, we also learned valuable lessons outside of the classroom, such as how to care for one another, how to have compassion about things we believe in, and the importance of giving back and paying it forward. In the spirit of these invaluable lessons, the class of 2018 can think of no greater gift than a donation to a Clarkstown North graduate who needs his community's help now more than ever. It is our pleasure to present the class of 2018's gift of over $8,000 to Clarkstown High School North, class of 2016 graduate Wilton Q.
Good evening, family, friends, and faculty. Thank you for joining us today and for all your support throughout our high school careers. We could not have done it without you. It's hard to believe that the past 4 years have come to a close. From getting lost in the halls as tiny little freshmen to stressing out over prom, North has been home to all of our trials and tribulations from the past few years. However, despite the sometimes unnecessary drama and stress, I think I speak for everyone when I say that North has truly fostered an amazing community for us to grow and learn. And as president of the student council for this school year, I hope that our gift to the school will add to the environment that has shaped us so. This year, the student council has constructed a garden at the edge of the main courtyard named the Peace Garden. This garden is dedicated in memoriam to the lives lost during school shootings all across America, a topic which has gained a lot of attention this year, both from the media and from student activists, many of whom attend this very school. North is proud to promote peace in our school at a time when it is needed the most. Alongside this garden will be a number of benches for students to sit in serenity and enjoy their lunches or work on homework. We hope that students enjoy this project that has taken a lot of time, hard work, and dedication from the entirety of Student Council. We are very proud to be donating this gift to the school and can't wait to see it grow in the years to come. Thank you.
By the authority granted me by the state of New York, through the Board of Education of the Clarkstown Central School District, I hereby officially proclaim the preceding members of the class of 2018 to be graduated. Congratulations, graduates.